Yo, we back with another one, man. And Jim Jones been throwing shots at Dame Dash, talking crazy about him, all that. So we finna get in all that. Make sure y'all hit that sub button. Let's see what's going on.
Jim Jones and Dame Dash are both currently beefing on the internet, and they're desperately trying to expose each other. They both did podcasts this week where, respectively, they're throwing each other under the bus. On one podcast, Jim Jones attacked Dame Dash street credibility.
Impact was on the Dipset.
Dame's impact on the Dipset was nothing.
And Dame Dash attacked Jim Jones' street credibility in his interview.
He was like an 8-year-old, like a younger kid running
Crazy. Sad to see, man. I hate to see this for the set.
around with a clip-on tie.
Before the video even gets started, I want to put y'all onto the best money play right now on the internet called Free Cash. These folks is literally paying you to play video games, bro. Like little mini games like this. You hop on your phone, you play them, and you get paid to play it, bro. It's 100% trackable, transparent. You see exactly how much you're making as you play it. If somebody is willing to pay you to play video games, you probably want to play it because you don't know how long it's going to last. Scan my QR code or click the link in my description to download the app and get started. This back and forth actually started with Jim Jones. Jim Jones did an interview, and during this interview, they asked him about Dame Dash impact on Dipset and his impact on Harlem. Jim Jones took the opportunity to talk about Dame Dash as if Dame Dash was a sucker, a buster, and a nobody.
Impact was on the Dipset.
Dame's impact on the Dipset was nothing.
What?
How can you say that when he signed the whole set? You can't say that. You cannot say Dame Dash didn't have no impact on Dipset at all. That is crazy.
What his impact was in Harlem?
Dame impact in Harlem was nothing. Not to say it like
hear
that. Dame came up under hustlers. That impact was it. He was a little dude when it came to hustling in Harlem. He wasn't not no Rich Porter, none of that type of. He wanted to hustle. He wanted to hustle for like Rich Porter and shit like that. Dame from the East Side. When the niggas on the East Side is different from the niggas on the West Side. Now for the East Side, Dame was a big deal to us because we were little. When he was coming from the West Side, little car, jewelry, and all that. So when you're young, he's looking like Rich Porter, but in reality, he was like this. Go to the store, take a couple grams, get out of here. Not to take nothing away from him. You heard?
Jim Jones and Dame Dash are both suffering from the same thing, right? They both have the same diagnosis, which is old niggas who can't let go of the glory days.
There was an interview that Jim Jones did, and he said that you're not a boss, you're a worker. What do you have to say about that?
Someone called me about that, and I laughed because it's ridiculous, but I felt like Jim must have been giving me an alley-oop to front on him. So I will.
Okay.
This is just a severe case of arrested development. This man is 60 years old and think fronting on somebody is proving that he really sold drugs at the level he claimed he sold drugs at. And even with Jim Jones.
But at the end of the day, if somebody say something about you, you got to respond. See, that's my problem with a lot of stuff that go on these days. It's like somebody could say something about you, but then it's like if you respond, depending on how the narrative get twisted, you wrong for responding. You wrong for saying something back. No, if somebody say something about you, you should have the right to say something about them or speak back or tell the truth about what they saying going on.
Is also arrested development because Jim is 50 years old, and when they ask him, yo, was Dame a factor or an influence in Harlem? Well, how do your brain automatically goes to how much drugs he sold, right? Again, that question could have very easily meant, man, tell us about Dame's work with the youth, right? Did Dame give back to his community? Did Dame influence the kids to do better? Was Dame a positive influence? The fact that you hear, was he a factor in Harlem, and your brain automatically goes to, did he do the worst possible thing? Was he the most degenerate version of himself when you knew him?
But with him bringing Dip in to the Rockefeller.
You're talking about two different things. You're talking about the streets and you're talking about the music and shit like that.
I was talking about the
I'm not
streets.
saying he wasn't a hustler in the streets.
Right.
You heard? But he wasn't the big dog. He wasn't that. He just had a couple packs like everybody else in Harlem. You heard his name doesn't ring bells for being the hustlers in Harlem. He made a movie called Paid in Full. He wasn't in the movie.
Right.
His character was nowhere in that movie. So I don't want people to get up here and be like, yo, he's trying to do something. No,
Tell your man
nigga.
with a something.
He was just an actor.
Yeah,
in
in
the
the code. Yeah, you know.
The
when they
movie's
pull
about
up-
Rich Porter and
Oh, I
all
see what
those
you're
guys.
saying. Yeah, right.
Dame, there's not a character in that
character in it.
movie.
Right,
He's not a
right.
Rich
Nah,
Porter.
for
They
sure.
didn't change
No.
Dame name to Kane or Kane. They changed Rich name to Mitch.
Right.
You heard? Like, he wasn't one of those figures. He was a hustler growing up adoring those type of figures.
Right.
You understand what I'm trying to
get
say?
it.
No.
And Dame Stupid Ass really hopped on camera too on a podcast in this era and admitted to how much drugs he was really selling during that era.
And the people that he's rapping about in a lot of his records, like Rich Porter and Lou Sims, these are people I actually used to hustle with. Now, at 15, I'm not going to say I was a legend at hustling. I wasn't. I was 15. But the people that we were looking up to, by the time I got to their age, I definitely made more money than them, and I was more impactful as it relates to culture because it wasn't being known for selling drugs. I was never known for selling drugs. But what you won't do, you could ask Lou Sims if he ever sent me to the store, or ask anybody that you know that was in that world that ever sent me to the store. See, I never hustled with Jim, and I don't think he ever bought a car till it was with Rap Money. It was never a street thing. Okay. I knew him as Jomo, and it's not a bad thing. This was his name, and he was like an 8-year-old, like a younger kid running around with a clip-on tie, and he lived in 1199 at Dave's house because I guess they're whatever it was. He lived. So I never really knew him as like growing up. He was always a little kid.
Yeah.
But Fredo, Cameron brought him around, and I was like, why are you with Jomo? And he was like, well, and he admitted this. Well, he has a crib we go to. We just using him, blah, blah, blah. I was like, yeah, all right, it's Jomo. But he's done what he's had to do. But, you know, he wasn't there to say that. But if he can say that, like Dookie, I used to hustle with Dookie. He was my lieutenant.
Not Dookie. I thought he was calling.
Pause. We is not finna start calling Duke the God Dookie. Not doing it. I'm not. I don't care if that's his nickname. I'm never calling Duke the God that, ever. Shout out to Duke the God. Another big part of the set that people try to downplay. You know what I'm saying? And Duke the God was a big part of the set too, and still is, still getting Hell Rail and J.R. money, J.R. Ryder money. You see what I'm saying? Like, shout out to Duke the God.
The man Dookie.
Yeah, you were wrong. Pause.
Pause.
Duke the God is, we call him Dookie, Paul.
Okay.
But Duke the God is with the Dipset. I used to hustle with him.
At the tender age of 60 years old, this man hopped on a podcast and admitted to crimes, named his codees, named other people that did crimes with him for internet validation. Now, I don't know about y'all, bro. Like, I'm sure the statute of limitations probably came and went for Dame Dash and those things he did in his 20s. But I don't know about y'all, bro. But, yo, I don't think there's ever a time, there's ever an expiration for where you should come online and admit and confess to doing crime. And even if you want to say, you know, past the statute of limitation, you could talk about it as your story, cool. But that's still not a pass to include other people and to label them and the crimes that they did. Yo, he named this dude as a lieutenant. Do you know the amount of drugs you had to be selling to be the lieutenant in Harlem?
You could ask him if he ever seen someone send me to the store, but I was always known in the position as somewhat of a boss, and all I did was pass the plug to them. They were like, they always looked up to me at that time, but I was never big time as a drug dealer, but I did have a crew called The Best Out, and we were the youngest crew, and we were legendary. We was all getting money.
Dame is sounding like AR Ab right now, bruh.
I ain't gonna lie. Dame Dash was known for getting money back in the day. Like, we not finna do this, man. I hear what Jim Jones saying, and I see they trying to downplay it, bro. But the reason Jay, when it got up with Dame, was because Dame was known for having the money. And you can't make the moves that they needed to make without having money. You see what I'm saying? So it wasn't like Dame. Some y'all think Jay-Z, even though he wasn't that Jay-Z at the time, but still though, you think he'd have just got up with Dame just because he was a small fry? Like, come on, man. That wasn't even Jay-Z type of MO. Why niggas was nickel and dime and moving them big bags, Jay wanted to wait. You see what I'm saying? He wanted the big this stuff. Jay always thought big. Jay never thought little. So if he was gonna go attach his name to somebody or be around somewhere, whatever, he had to look at them as they was big too. And Dame was that big back then. So don't let them fool you.
He did it for a fact. I seen him do it. I had the plug I passed to him. We had a game called this. Y'all keep talking like this, bro. And think it's all sweet and dandy, bro. When it's not. Now, Jim Jones also discussed his other disagreements with Dame Dash on the podcast, and here's what he had to say.
What's your relationship with Dame today?
I ain't got no relationship with Dame.
Right.
Never had one?
Yeah, I know Dame since I was 6.
Yeah, I'm saying you know him, but you know people know people, but don't.
I know him since I was 6. I said, we lived in the same building.
Okay.
The same building.
Right,
You heard?
right.
The same building. I just played on the second floor with everybody. You know? Same
Mace had
building.
impact in Harlem?
No. After he did music.
Right. After he did music, right.
After he did music, Ken was a basketball player. He had his own little influence because he was dumb nice at basketball.
They both.
Basketball, you heard?
Right. That was a skit when y'all was playing basketball.
Jim Jones trying to downplay everybody like he the biggest gangster. No, we ain't doing that. We ain't doing that, Jimmy. Now, we can go ahead and go back to them DVDs. We know what was going on during that DVD era, Jimmy. Like, hold on now. Don't stop trying to play everybody like they wasn't know nothing and you was just a gangster, bro. That's not true. Like, that's all cap. It's no facts behind it at all.
Through the ball and get up.
That was a skit.
I say these. I think that's a skit. Yeah.
Mace was talented. He was a dancer. And Mace didn't excel at the rapping really to after high school they started getting on and shit like that, and then he excelled and then started getting on first and signed first, and then I helped Cam and everybody get on and shit like that. But
The one thing about this that I didn't like was when Jim Jones went out of his way to discredit Dame Dash impact on Dipset, right? He would describe it as if Dame Dash had no impact whatsoever, as if Dame wasn't instrumental in making them hot. He would say, they came to Rock Nation with a buzz already. They were already hot in the streets. Dame did nothing but just, begged them to sign, and that's why they signed, et cetera, et cetera. And to me, that's a disservice to everything they built together.
It's cap.
Because, listen, man, Dame is abrasive. Dame has his ways, but you can't really deny, how much Dame Dash helped out Dipset and how much Dame Dash gave him a career.
When you cancel out the street side of it and go into the music business of it, what was his impact with Dipset at that
he
time?
didn't have no impact with Dipset. Dipset, we made our impact on our own. He signed us. We were signed to entertainment. We were signed to a whole different infrastructure. We were signed to entertainment.
Right.
We had nothing to do with Rockefeller at all until after the 2000s, bro. Remember that. You heard Diplomats was already outside. Mixtape after mixtape after mixtape before we signed the deal. We did that.
Yeah,
they didn't have nothing to do with it.
You saying you
all
built
they
your
did
own
was
impact.
gave us a home.
You putting the nigga on.
And gave us some spotlight for us to blow up. We already put the work in.
Right.
Anywhere we would have went was going to be a boom. We already had the streets. They didn't help us get the streets.
It's just funny, like.
So why y'all want booming already? Now, I ain't gonna lie, Cam was booming a little bit because of horse and carriage. But after that, we was kind of like, we don't know what Cam gonna do. And then Dipset came. Oh boy, and and set his own again. I don't like how Jimmy doing this, man. I don't agree with none of this.
Like I said, we come from down south, so to us it's like
That's a whole lot. That's a whole lot.
That's
the way we
saying,
see it.
That's
Yeah.
what we signed, but they didn't. No, that's not where Diplomats
Right.
started at. This Diplomats hype started in the streets. There was nobody that could take that away from us. We were the biggest thing in New York City, hands down, the hottest thing in New York City. The music, the fashion, the gangs, everything, and there was nothing no one could do with us. The smartest thing for anybody to do with us was to do a deal. And Kevin Lyles was going to sign us to a deal. And when Dame seen that, he said when Dame seen he was losing his position to sign us because we were in the building, he had to double back like, nah, Kev, you can't sign it. We signing that here. So you heard, it wasn't until Kevin took a meeting with us to make Dame double down on making sure that we signed up at Rockefeller.
But he still brought y'all to Rock, and he was still y'all day-to-day man. He still worked with y'all day-to-day. Yo, Dame did a lot, man. Dame was about to make Cam like the president of the label at some point, bruh. So, again, it's one thing to say, I don't like Dame right now. We don't have a relationship, cool. But to try to downplay how much Dame looked out for Dipset, how much Dame offered, how much Dame was trying to help y'all, the role that Dame played in your career. It's one thing to be hot in the streets and to get signed, but it's another thing, man, to have global records, to have a global impact, to have a Hall of Fame rap career. And I think without Dame, that may not have happened, right? Now, Dame really doesn't address this part, to be honest. The part that Dame really focused on, which to me was a waste of time, was him thanking Jim Jones for even bringing this up so he could flex about his street credibility, which is just stupid for a 60-year to say.
Yeah. But again, I'm pretty impressed with who I am and who I was and the things I did, and the fact that the people rap about are the people that I actually hustle with and actually was able to go another direction. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like for him, he knows the algorithm. Yeah. And, when you say Dame Dash, you go viral. And I was going to ask you if that, do you think that was a reason for it? So that he could, so that I could actually have a reason to talk about who I was and tell people to look under the hood. But if you know a 15, 16-year-old, and another thing is because I used to hang out uptown. So people from downtown, I'm from 1199, they weren't usually allowed to go uptown and hustle. And I was on one of the wildest blocks at the time in Harlem. So I got to make it out of a real circumstance. I didn't wait to get the rap to start to get money. I didn't wait to get the rap to start being tough. None of those things. And, you can look under the hood. So I appreciate him bringing it up.
So
and to the extent that I've made my Paid in Full, the OG stories, it's about my friends.
Yeah, overall, just embarrassing to be honest. 50 and 60-year-old men should be having more elevated conversations. I want to hear about what you think the afterlife is. I want to hear about, what you think your legacy is. I want to hear about how you're going to set up your grandkids and great-grandkids, right? Like, I want to hear about man things, bro. Like a 60-year-old grandfather should have more to talk about than the streets, right? I would want to talk about, how you're raising your grandkids. You feel me, right? Like, what type of man you want your bro, I want to hear about some more elevated conversations. You feel me? I don't want to hear this, man. This is just sad. Bro, both Jim Jones and Dame Dash got more to offer than street talk, okay? Let me know in the comment section what.
Yeah, man, but like I say, when somebody say something to you first, you should have the right to respond. Y'all get in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think, man. It's your boy Buddha. I'm out.